I did some research online and the Art Institute popped up, and I actually didn't even visit any other schools. I came here, took a tour, and kind of fell in love with the kitchens. So I just decided to come, and I actually was enrolled in another college and had been there for 3 years, and I started here right away. It definitely gives you all of those skills that you need to go out into the industry. Even something as small as knowing the terms for things and knowing, what knife cuts are, because you're going to be expected to know that when you go out into the industry. So that definitely has helped. And then also just the environment with the instructors. They're usually really willing to help and teach you what they know, so that, that always makes someone better at what they do if they have people willing to teach them. Started here right away, so. My biggest strength, I would probably say, would be adaptability, just because when you're working in a kitchen, sometimes things don't always go the way you expect them to. There's time constraints, so you always have to kind of work on your toes and be able to come up with something like on the fly. So I think proteins, meats, and fish, that's really always fun to work with. You can add a lot of flavors to them, so you can use different spices, different aromatics, and that enhances their flavor as well as adds things that you want to add to them. So they're always fun to work with. And then I also like starches. I like to work with rice because you can also add your own spin to that, so that's always fun. Probably top on the list would be cleanliness. That's always something you want to look for, especially if we've been very well trained here to keep your stations clean and organized and have everything sanitized, so that's really important. And then also just like a positive environment that promotes learning as well as...
So not like Hell's Kitchen?
Right, not like Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen, I don't think that would be my ideal place.
Yeah.
No. Probably my biggest success is learning to bake. I was not a baker before I came to school. I actually I'd never even baked a cake other than out of a box, so it was very scary because it's kind of, if you ask people that are in culinary, baking is more of a science, so you have to know the weights, you have to know the measures, you have to do it correctly. So it is a little intimidating, but after taking the baking class and loving it and doing our final buffet and everything turning out really well, that's probably my biggest success. Creativity is kind of a must, I think, in the kitchen. It's sometimes hard because you're not sure, if something's going to turn out, but definitely just as far as even not following a recipe completely, there's a lot of times when we always have recipes for our classes, but we're always encouraged to branch out and kind of do something, add something, make changes that we think will enhance the recipe. So that is one way that you can definitely be creative, just adding your own little twist with an extra ingredient or taking an ingredient out. I've always been into cooking. I just I don't even know when it started, but I just kind of gravitated to the kitchen, and on holidays I started making all kinds of stuff for Christmas and Thanksgiving. So it's definitely always been something I've loved, and then I really got into buying cookbooks and that kind of thing. And I was at NKU for 3 years, and I just couldn't find anything I wanted to do that made me happy. So I switched and came here, and then, that's how it all started. Now that I'm graduating, I just want to get a position that I can continue to learn, because even though we have this skill set that we have developed, it definitely needs to be tweaked. And I think some people think that when you graduate from culinary school, you're going to go and you're going to become like the head chef of some restaurant, and that's just not really what's going to happen. So I just really want to, anywhere, I don't know, a hotel, catering, a restaurant, and just get my feet wet and get my name out there and kind of work my way up, really. So in 5 years from now, I have a few different goals. I would like to do some catering on the side of my own, and then also it's always been a dream to open a restaurant, so maybe in 5 years I'll be able to be a little bit closer to that, maybe start looking at areas of where I'd want to do that and that kind of thing. So that's definitely a goal. there is that kind of that sense of competition and you want to do your best, but for the most part, the people that succeed at least are the people that want to work as a team and help each other out, because I know it's kind of cliche and cheesy, but in a kitchen you really do have to work as a team, because if someone else doesn't get their product out, then no one's going to look good. So I think that is something that you learn here through working in teams, because you work in teams from the beginning as well as doing your own thing. But that is something that you learn, that you gotta definitely work as a team.